Now, figures show that 13,000 flights have been cancelled globally this month due to rising fuel prices caused by the war in the Middle East. Data from the aviation analytics firm Cirium shows that Istanbul and Munich have seen the largest cuts. With me is our business reporter, Essex Carr. Thanks very much for coming in. Just tell us more about what these figures are showing.
Well, that 13,000 flights equates to around 2 million seats that have been cancelled. And as you say, aviation is one of those industries that's been most impacted by the conflict in the Middle East, as well as that initial disruption for flights going to that area. There's also been that huge spike in jet fuel prices. Jet fuel has more than doubled since the conflict began. And for lots of countries, the UK included, the Gulf is where they source the majority of their jet fuel, so that's inevitably had some consequences. And some airlines have already announced plans to cut their schedules. The German carrier Lufthansa has said that it intends to cut around 20,000 flights between now and the end of October. Others have said that they're looking at raising ticket prices as a result.
What does that mean for anyone who is planning travel over the coming days, weeks and months? I mean, should they book? Is there a risk of very last-minute cancellations?
Well, of course, what we all want to know is how is this going to affect our own travel plans, particularly in the UK. Half terms around the corner, the summer holidays are on the horizon. And it's important to point out that 13,000 flights, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually out of more than 850,000 flights in May. So really it's around 1.5% of flights. And that's going to include routes that have already been cancelled by airlines, perhaps going to some of those hubs in the Middle East. And as you said earlier, it's not evenly distributed. Some routes aren't affected at all. There's quite a few flights from Istanbul and Munich airports. So really this is probably a case of airlines looking at their schedules, trying to consolidate certain routes, focus on the ones that are going to be most profitable in their busiest and peak periods. And that will include those busy summer holiday routes. So there's a bit of reassurance there that airlines are kind of using this as contingency to kind of make plans for what is going to be their busiest period.
And is it the case that they will be broadly okay for a few months? I mean, at what point does it become very difficult for them?
Well, there have been warnings about jet fuel shortages in the coming months, but the message from Airlines UK, which represents airlines here in the UK, is that the airlines here are operating normally, that there is no problem with jet fuel supply. And the UK government, too, is trying to reassure people. They've already also taken some action to try and mitigate the impact of this. They've said that airlines are going to be able to cancel their landing and takeoff slots at busy airports weeks in advance without losing those slots, and that will hopefully avoid some of those last-minute cancellations, which of course can be so disruptive and which everybody wants to avoid during those peak sort of holiday periods.
But is there a fear, from consumer groups that could still happen, over a very busy sort of July and August when a lot of people are travelling?
I think the message from consumer groups, from holiday companies and airlines, is that people should make their plans and be reassured that everybody is working to try and protect those busy periods. The Transport Secretary said at the weekend that she expects that people here going on their summer holidays should experience the same kind of thing as they did last summer.
OK, Essex Carr, thanks very much indeed. Thank you.